So I bet you'll never guess what I'm reviewing today. Yep. What's up everybody, it's PJ the Great. I hope you're having a super beautiful day. Today I have yet another SSD. Yeah, I'm kind of, getting addicted to these things. This is the Addlink S20 SSD, the 256 gigabyte model. I have it right here. This SSD has speeds of 510 read and 400 write. I picked it up on Amazon.com. It was like $47. So I figured, it's cheap. Let's try it. It's got some good ratings. It has like 4 out of 5 star ratings. Now the reason why I picked this up, I've already bought like 3 SSDs. I bought it for my Mac Pro, but I haven't been giving my MacBook Pro any love. So I decided to go ahead and pick up an SSD for it. And I came across this one. This was my choice. Now this is a SATA 3 SSD drive, so you're going to be getting your 6 GBs out of this. It has 3D NAND flash, which is TLC, which is fine. I think it worked out perfectly for what I'm going to use it for. Now the one thing I will mention is that when I picked this guy up, when it arrived at my house, for some reason I decided to get on Amazon just to take a look at it. And then lo and behold, I found the same brand, Adlink, has an MLC model with SLC cache, and it was only $1 more.
$1? $1? $1?
Yeah, $1. So your boy was a little bit upset. I could have had MLC instead of TLC for $1 more, but hey, I think it'll work out just fine. I think it'll do everything that I need to do on my MacBook Pro. Plus, I hardly even use that thing anyway, so I'm not gonna cry over $1. Well, I might. So I have some things to share with you guys today. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some real world tests and some benchmarks. First, I have a 2 terabyte SSHD currently in my 2012 MacBook Pro. So I'm gonna give you some tests on that. I'm gonna test boot speed. We're gonna test how long it takes to load up Final Cut Pro 10. After I show you those tests, then I'm gonna get this installed. I'm gonna move that 2 terabyte SSHD over into my optical drive and use that as additional storage inside of my MacBook Pro. I love these models because you're able to just take out the CD-ROM that nobody even uses anymore and use it as additional space. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So this is the little caddy that I picked up for my optical drives from a company called Q9. This is not sponsored. And basically what it allows you to do, it allows you to put a 2.5-inch drive into your optical bay on your MacBook Pro and use it as additional storage. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that installed. That's what kind of helped in my decision to pick up a 256 gigabyte Adlink SSD, because I knew I was going to use the 2 terabyte SSHD as additional storage. So why waste a lot of money on a larger SSD when you can just dump everything over to your old drive in your optical bay? So it just made sense. So before we get started with the installation process, first I want to show you those tests. The first test I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how long it actually takes to boot up my 2012 MacBook Pro using the SSHD. Here is another test. This is how long it takes to launch Final Cut Pro 10 using that SSHD. And last but not least, here's that Blackmagic design test on the SSHD. Okay, now you have all of your before numbers. Now it's time to get those after numbers. I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed right now, and then we're gonna do some tests on how this Addlink S20 256GB SSD performs in my MacBook Pro. Now I will take you guys along for the ride for the installation process. Installing the SSD is pretty much, it's really easy. I've done it before. But the part that I have not done before is taking out the old optical drive and replacing it with the caddy that's gonna have the SSHD in it now. I've watched a bunch of videos on YouTube trying to get myself prepared and ready to do it, because it does seem like a little daunting and like scary, but I think I'm ready for it. I'm not gonna show it to you guys because I really wanna concentrate on it, but if you're in a boat like me and you want to install another like HDD or SSD into your optical bay, I highly recommend you go and check out this video. It's by Zed Pro Media. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can go and check it out. I watched his video like a million times, and I think he did a really good job at how to take out that optical drive and replace it. So link below for that. In the meantime, I'll see you when I have the Adlink inside my MacBook Pro.
A few moments later.
Okay guys, I had to share this with you because this is only can happen to PJ the Great. Look at this. So I got my optical bay out, but you can see there's a screw there. It's stripped. The last damn screw stripped. And this is what became of the optical drive. Right there. I literally just ripped it out of there. I'm glad I was like patient, and you know, because I was about to just grab the whole thing and throw it on the ground, but I had to pry it out. So hopefully the optical adapter goes in. Alright, the struggle is real, my friends. After fighting with that optical drive and finally getting the optical bay in there for the second SSD, or SSHD I should say, now we're ready for some testing. First test is boot up time. Lego. Alright guys, so we're looking at roughly what the time that it took to put in my password. Probably about maybe 32 seconds, give or take. That's a huge cry from how long it took with that SSHD, and I'll put comparison numbers on the screen for you. And the next test on the Adlink, let's see how long it takes to open up Final Cut Pro. Try and do this both at the same time. Okay, so it is taking longer to load up Final Cut Pro on the SSD than it did with the SSHD. At least it looks that way. I'll put the comparison numbers on the screen, but one thing to keep in mind is that with this new setup, I actually have my Final Cut Pro library on the SSHD, so it's running off of two different places. The Adlink to boot it up, and then the old Seagate SSHD to load up the library. So that might have something to do with it. And last but not least, the piece de la resistance, or however you say it, Blackmagic design disk speed test. Let's see what we're getting on the Adlink SSD. The write is horrible at 176. The read is at 418. Now that write is back up to 397. The read is at 426. Okay guys, let's wrap up this video on the Adlink S20 SSD drive, 256 gigabyte model. What are my overall thoughts on this SSD? Well, I'm going to admit, once I got my SSHD cloned over to it and I first put it in, booted it up and was ready to go, I was not a fan. I was not a fan at all. This thing was not any faster than my SSHD was. But then I knew what I was gonna do with this drive. I took the movies, iTunes library, photo library, downloads folder, OneDrive, all of that off, put it on the SSHD so that the only thing that this Adlink had to worry about was OS and apps. And then once I did that, I noticed that the speed increase was like amazing. It really did boost when I took all of that stuff off. It really helped that the SSD wasn't completely full. That really helped increase the speed as far as the reading is concerned. I'm not going to be doing a lot of writing on this. As I mentioned, that's what the SSHD is for. Would I recommend it to anybody else to like throw into their MacBook Pro or any laptop? Yeah, you know what, I think you'll be happy with it. I'm just a little on the fence with the inconsistent speeds, but that may have a lot to do with the fact that I really put this thing through its paces yesterday with cloning it and then taking all the stuff off of it that I didn't want on it. I left it on overnight so that trim and garbage collection could do its thing in hopes that I would see a speed increase, and I did. But Final Cut Pro is still not ideal the way that it's loading. It may have something to do with it loading the library off of the SSHD now, but I'm not having that issue on my Mac Pro Tower, so I don't know why I'm having it here. Now, I'm still a little upset that I didn't get the MLC with the SLC cache Adlink. I think it's the S50 for $1 more.
$1? $1? $1?
But I can't kick myself for that because I didn't see it. That's the reason why I bought the S20. And I'm fine with that. I actually bought a trade space warranty for this and I paid $1.
$1?
So basically what that trade space warranty gives you, it gives you 4 years of coverage to get this replaced if something should happen to, you know, go wrong with it and it gets damaged or something in the order. I picked that up because even though Adlink does offer a 3-year warranty, the trade space warranty was not only a year longer, but the coverage seemed to be a lot better if this thing should happen to fail. And of course, all my Mac friends, if you're gonna use this or any SSD for that matter, use Time Machine, back yourself up, so you don't have to worry about it if it crashes. That's why I'm not worried about this, because I use Time Machine. My PC friends out there too, whatever backup system that you might use, make sure you back up your OS drives, but I don't think I have to tell you guys that. I believe you're techies, you understand. And last but not least, I highly recommend my MacBook Pro friends to pick up something like this, especially if you're not using that optical drive. Just take it out and put your old HDD in there. That way you have additional space. Then that way you don't have to worry about getting a large size SSD. That's the reason why I got the Adlink 256. I didn't have to worry about picking up something that was 512 or higher because I knew I was going to throw that 2 terabyte drive in there and have all the space that I need. So I recommend that you do that. Just don't make the stupid mistake like I did and strip a screw. Just be really careful and patient in the process, and you should be fine and you shouldn't run into any issues like I ran into. Hey, if you like this video, you know what you can do for me. Give it a big old thumbs up. if you haven't subscribed already, you can subscribe by hitting that button right below this video. There's also a little purple box on the screen somewhere. You can click on that purple box. It'll get you subscribed, but don't forget to click the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload new videos. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was informative to you. And if you have any questions about this Adlink SSD, just hit me up in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Until I see you in the next video, this is PJ the Great saying Audi 5000G.